Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee.
This program is about faith.
And blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
This program is about believing in something.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb.
This program is about the power that belief can have and how that power can be used for betterment. Jersey City is known as the gateway to the United States, a city on the edge of the greatest city in the world. Now it is known as a city of miracles. Through an ordinary man named Ray, a community man, people are coming to Jersey City to pray the Rosary and strengthen their faith. The ideas expressed here are the opinions of people changed by their experience with a power they believe greater than their own.
Coming home from Dickinson High School with a friend of mine, John Charleston, Frank Arrico, and another fellow, Rocco Romeo. We were coming down Sip Avenue, and when we got to Sip Boulevard, we noticed that what was known as the Old Mansion, it's where the VIP restaurant is standing. That's where the painting was found. They were taking everything out and setting it out on a garbage. And I noticed that painting, and I said, oh, wow. I said, this is great. And when I showed it to my father, my nickname was Chief. And my father said, hey, Chief, that must have been placed in a basement by a furnace. That's probably why it has that oily sediment on it. And he said, we'll clean it up and we'll give it to you, Mom. So we cleaned it up and we polished the frame around it. And I gave it to my mother. And my mother loved it, but it always seemed to have like this oily substance on it. 4 years ago, my son came home with his wife, Mabel, and they were talking about where he lived in Corbin Avenue. He lived in Eddie Freya's apartment, and they were talking about how Eddie Freya had one daughter more beautiful than the other, and that the one daughter passed away. And they just said that they just had an uneasy, eerie feeling about the apartment. So I said to Ray, I said, you know, Grandma used to pray the Rosary with the Mount Carmel Rosarians back in the late 50s. I said, why don't we bring the picture in and we'll say a prayer by it? Why don't you bring the picture home? And Ray agreed to it. When we brought the picture in from the garage, we put the picture up in the kitchen. As we placed the picture on a counter in the kitchen, that's when we noticed this oily sediment coming from the eyes. And it was coming from Mary's eyes and St. Anne's eyes. So Mabel and Mabel's mother, Grace, said, you should pray a rosary. You should pray a rosary, that it's a sign we should do a rosary. Word had spread in the neighborhood about this, and next thing you know, we had people coming over and we were doing a rosary almost every night at the house.
I was achy all over. I was really tired. I had a lot of trouble concentrating. They didn't know what it was. We went through tons of testing, but they didn't have an answer.
There was a newspaper article written about Janelle and another classmate in her school who also had problems walking. And Diana Saltarelli read the article, and she contacted me. This was in June of 2000 by phone. And she told me that there was a man in Jersey City who could maybe help my daughter. And I was very open to this. I had done enormous testing, seen many specialists, and had no diagnosis. I called the man named Ray, and I spoke to him on the phone in June. And Janelle spoke with him also. And there was a rosary coming up in July, which we then did attend. And that was our first meeting with him. But by the time Janelle got to the rosary in July, she was already walking. She had a little limp in her right leg, but the muscle weakness seemed to have dissipated. And she had strength and better mobility. And when I called Deanie for directions, that's Diana, I call her Deanie, a few days before the rosary, I said to her, could he do this over the telephone? Because it dawned on me then that maybe something was done because there was no explanation. I had called the doctors, and they said, why worry about it? Just be happy that she's feeling better. And I called Deanie and I asked her, and she said, "Oh, I'm sure he prayed for her over the phone." He also told me that her illness may come and go. It may come back, which it did. And every time it did come back, he did pray with her, and it did get better. And it came back 2 more times, and we were constantly praying, and it was his prayers through God that helped us get through this. I think parents need to have faith. Sometimes a miracle doesn't come all at once. Many do. Ours didn't. It took months. It took months of prayer. It took months of just believing in something. And I kept praying 24 hours, 7 days a week, that my daughter was going to walk, and I felt it. And I didn't sway from that. I just knew that she was going to walk. And it was that faith, I believe, that kept us going through this.